747, 58 degrees, 590, 96.5 WKZO, your home for World Series Baseball. Game 1 tonight. You can hear the ESPN radio coverage starting at 7 on AM 590 WKZO. Joining us now, U.S. Congressman Fred Upton. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. Go Tigers.
Yeah. Your name is being tossed around all the time when they talk about the Tigers. So tell us the scoop with Justin and your niece. Come on, Fred. Give me a scoop.
Anyway, she's got a publicist. I've been warned, but there's been a good reason why we've been rooting for the Tigers all season long, and it's we're really pulling for them against the Giants this week.
Yeah, we are. So go get them, Tigers.
That's right.
We're talking about, getting acquainted with the candidates, but we've known you for a long time. How long have you had your job?
Well, I like to say not long enough, but the voters get to decide every 2 years what's going on. And, as we know, most folks don't consider themselves necessarily Republican or a Democrat. They just want to get the job done, and that's been our belief from the very start. And particularly the last couple of years as we've been in the throes of a recession here in Michigan, 38 consecutive months of double-digit unemployment, our focus has always been jobs. So whether it's helping with the Kalamazoo Airport and getting that renovation done, whether it's expanding I-94 to 6 lanes and working with the local chamber and local officials, whether it's helping Pfizer and Stryker in animal health as well, streamline the process so that we can export products rather than jobs. That's the job that I've done as chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, and really largely in a very strong bipartisan way. We've seen nearly 80 bills move through our committee onto the House floor. 30 of them are now law with real impact on economic activity here in Southwest Michigan. And I was recently added to the Southwest Michigan First Board. And, of course, in our region, we want to add as many as 100,000 jobs in the next 10 years. And I'm glad to be a part of that.
What do you see as the growth area?
I'm sorry, which area?
What's the growth area for jobs? Where do we go?
Well, we've got a lot of – I'm going to be at a small business over in Van Buren County in about 35 minutes. And, we've seen I was co-chair of the Auto Caucus, and, of course, it was very important that we save the auto industry. And as a consequence, we're seeing so many different auto suppliers. I was in Sturgis earlier this week, and we've got a company there that 60% of its products are exports. Went to another automobile supplier company. 3 years ago, they were down to 35, 40 employees. Now they have over 300. American Axle down in Three Rivers, $100 million expansion, the most productive plant for them in the nation. They're adding probably more than 800 jobs in a year and a half. A great investment, and of course they're the county's largest employer. So, growth is small business, medium-sized business, and then of course we got our largest employer being Pfizer and Stryker and Perigo over in Allegan County. I was down at American Electric Power last night, and by extending the operating license for the Cook nuclear plant, meant $1 billion in new construction there in about a 2-year period. So we got a lot of positives, but we're not out of the woods yet. Our unemployment rate is still higher than the national average. At least we got it down under 10%. But we got to continue to grow, and that's why I'm delighted to be part of Southwest Michigan's first effort to really focus on jobs in this part of the country.
How do we make ourselves more appealing to those who would start a business?
Well, people just have to come and look. There's not a better place to live, as we know. And, cutting red tape. I look at where we've come from a state. We had a Governor Granholm that raised spending and raised taxes, and all of a sudden we were number 50 in terms of friendly business climate. We're now number 18 in just 2.5 years because they've gotten rid of the single business tax, beginning to pay down some of that debt. It's we all have to tighten our belts, but I hope that we can weather the storm. And as we look at initiatives down the road, whether it be a North American Energy Independent Plan and try to get away from these big price spikes in fuel and everything else, we've got the tools. We have the education base. Work very closely with Western Michigan University. It was such a delight to see the groundbreaking the other day for the new medical school downtown and what that's going to mean for Kalamazoo. We have so many gems here that other districts, other congressional areas, they would cut their right arm off for what we have here. The talent, the folks that really want to make a difference in terms of economic development, improving the quality of life, all those things, man, there is not a better place to live than Southwest Michigan.
How do we get the word out?
Well, it's getting out. I mean, I look over at the Twin Cities with St. Joe Benton Harbor and the PGA tournament that they had earlier this year at the New Harbor Shores, and of course Whirlpool is the major employer in the Twin Cities, and they said, look, we're the world's largest appliance manufacturer. If we can't get people to come and work here, I don't know that we're necessarily going to stay. What is it that we have to do to improve the quality of life in the Twin Cities? And they stepped up to the plate. We've got a new development there with housing and terrific golf course, and you're seeing that economic activity spread to downtown Benton Harbor. Whirlpool built up a new building there. They're building a second one right there on Main Street. The word as people pass through is like, wow, how is this place so undiscovered? I mean, what can we do to try and help things out? And we're beginning to see the fruits of that work in terms of economic activity here now.
We're talking with U.S. Congressman Fred Upton, and he would like your vote coming up on Election Day, and it's coming right up.
Don't you know how many hours?
No, I don't. We should probably have one of those little
I figured
tickers
it out
in
the
here.
shower this morning, but now I forget. Still too many.
I bet you're probably ready for it to be over too, so you can get back to
we'll be
work.
glad to get it over, but we also then I go back to Washington, and we've got to solve the fiscal issues that are before us. Extending the tax cuts so we can really fix the tax code because it's broken. Do all that we can to avoid a sequester. I was at Eaton 2 days ago, and for them they make truck transmissions, as you know, and their production is down a third. Just worried about sequestration and what it's going to mean in terms of their contracts, and I think everybody's really holding their breath to see what's going to happen on November 6th.
Well, we thank you for joining us this morning. U.S. Congressman Fred Upton on 590, 96.5 WKZO.